Namo Dita Fa, good morning. Thanks for joining me for a daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The fifth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I'm determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I'm aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. For Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Chah's book, Everything is Teaching Us, and we're still in the Dharma talk on wholehearted training. I once taught a sage. He was a lay patron who came to practice and keep precepts on the observance days, but he would still go fishing. I tried to teach him further, but couldn't solve this problem. He said he didn't kill fish, they simply came to swallow his hook. I kept at it, teaching him until he felt some contrition over this. He was ashamed of it, but he kept doing it. Then his rationalization changed. He would put the hook in the water and announce, "Whichever fish has reached the end of its karma to be alive, come and eat my hook. If your time has not yet come, do not eat my hook." He had changed his excuse, but still, the fish came to eat. Finally, he started looking at them, their mouths caught on the hook, and he felt some pity. But he still couldn't resolve his mind. "Well, I told them not to eat the hook if it wasn't time. What can I do if they still come?" And then he'd think, "But they are dying because of me." He went back and forth on this until finally he could stop. But then there were the frogs. He couldn't bear to stop catching frogs to eat. "Don't do this," I told him. "Take a good look at them. Okay, if you can't stop killing them, I won't forbid you, but please, just look at them before you do that." So he picked up a frog and looked at it. He looked at its face, its eyes, its legs. "Oh man, it looks like my child. It has arms and legs. Its eyes are open. It's looking at me." He felt hurt. But still, he killed them. He looked at each one of like this and then killed it, feeling he was doing something bad. His wife was pushing him, saying they wouldn't have anything to eat if he didn't kill frogs. Finally, he couldn't bear it anymore. He would catch them, but wouldn't break their legs like before. Previously, he would break their legs so they couldn't hop away. Still, he couldn't make himself let them go. "Well, I'm just taking care of them, feeding them here. I'm only raising them. Whatever someone else might do, I don't know about that." But of course, he knew. The others were still killing them for food. After a while, he could admit this to himself. "Well, I've cut my bad karma by 50% anyhow. Someone else does the killing." This was starting to drive him crazy, but he couldn't yet let go. He still kept the frogs at home. He wouldn't break their legs anymore, but his wife would. It's my fault. Even if I don't do it, they do it because of me. Finally, he gave it up altogether, but then his wife was complaining. What are we going to do? What should we eat? He was really caught now. When he went to the monastery, the Ajahn lectured him on what he should do. When he returned home, his wife lectured him on what he should do. The Ajahn was telling him to stop doing that, and his wife was egging him on to continue doing it. What to do? What a lot of suffering. Born into this world, we have to suffer like this. In the end, his wife had to let go, too, so they stopped killing frogs. He worked in his field, tending his buffaloes. Then he developed the habit of releasing fish and frogs. When he saw fish caught in nets, he would set them free. Once he went to a friend's house and saw some frogs in a pot, and he set them free. Then his friend's wife came to prepare dinner. She opened the lid of the pot and saw the frogs were gone. They figured out what had happened. It's that guy with the heart of merit. She did manage to catch one frog and made a chili paste with it. They sat down to eat, and as he went to dip his ball of rice in the chili, she said, "Hey, heart of merit, you shouldn't eat that. It's frog chili paste." This was too much. What a lot of grief, just being alive and trying to feed oneself. Thinking about it, he couldn't see any way out. He was already an old man, so he decided to ordain. He prepared the ordination gear, shaved his head, and went inside the house. As soon as his wife saw his shaved head, she started crying. He pleaded with her. "Since I was born, I haven't had the chance to be ordained. Please give me your blessing to do this. I want to be ordained, but I will disrobe and return home again." So his wife relented. He was ordained in the local monastery, and after the ceremony, he asked the preceptor what he should do. The preceptor told him, "If you're really doing this seriously, you ought to just go to practice meditation. Follow a meditation master. Don't stay here near the houses." He understood and decided to do that. He slept one night in the temple, and in the morning took his leave, asking where he could find Ajahn Tangrat. He shouldered his bowl and wandered off, a new monk who couldn't yet put on his robes very neatly. But he found his way to Ajahn Tangrat. "Venerable Ajahn, I have no other aim in life. I want to offer my body and my life to you." Ajahn Tangrat replied, "Very good, lots of merit. You almost missed me. I was just about to go on my way. So, do your prostrations and take a seat there." The new monk said, "Now that I'm ordained, what should I do?" It happened that they were sitting by an old tree stump. Ajahn Tangrat pointed to it and said, "Make yourself like this tree stump. Don't do anything else. Just make yourself like this tree stump." He taught him meditation in this way. So Ajahn Tangrat went on his way, and the monk stayed there to contemplate his words. Ajahn taught to make myself like a tree stump. What am I supposed to do? He pondered this continuously, whether walking, sitting, or lying down to sleep. He thought about the stump first being a seed, how it grew into a tree, got bigger and aged, and was finally cut down, just leaving the stump. Now that it is a stump, it won't be growing anymore, and nothing will bloom from it. He kept on pondering this in his mind, considering it over and over, until it became his meditation object. He expanded it to apply to all phenomena, and was able to turn it inwards and apply it to himself. After a while, I am probably going to be like this stump, a useless thing. Realizing this gave him the determination not to disrobe. His mind was made up at this point. He had the conditions which came together to get him to the stage. When the mind is like this, there won't be anything that can stop it. All of us are in the same boat. Please think about this and try to apply it to your practice. Being born as humans is full of difficulties. And it's not just that it's been difficult for us so far. In the future, there will also be difficulty. Young people will grow up. Grown-ups will age. Aged ones will fall ill. Ill people will die. It keeps on going like this, the cycle of ceaseless transformation that never comes to an end. all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks for joining me today.